Story 1. Emile thought gravel vacuum for my aquarium was a penis pump and tried to get me in trouble with my DW. Happy New Year, everyone. Here's to 2019 being less stressful than 2018. My Emile, who loves to talk behind people's backs and tries to buy my children's affection with cheap toys that we donate as soon as she leaves, came to our house unannounced, as usual. She let herself in, also as usual, to drop off some more of those Walmart toys, because apparently, the kids didn't get enough for Christmas just days before. I was busy in my shed when she looked in the cabinet under my aquarium. She immediately assumed it was some kind of penis enlargement device. She then told my wife that she thought I was hiding a weird side of myself and that my wife should talk to me about it. My wife said her mom was completely serious, even a little angry. My wife asked her to explain, so Emile retrieved my cock pump from the cabinet and showed it to her. My wife nearly lost it, but she kept her composure and quickly called me inside. When I came in, she said, "My mom has a question for you." Emile asked what I needed that sick device for. I calmly explained what it was and suggested she focus on her own life. My wife was barely containing her laughter. Emile stormed out of the house, which was great. I can't stand that woman. Comment 1. We had one of those for our turtle tank. I'm not sure why you would store a penis pump under your fish tank. Comment 2. This reminds me of when my son was at boot camp and we hadn't moved in together yet. He lives at his mom's and had his own fridge. I come by one day and his mom, now my Emile, pulls me aside and asks if we smoke. I told her no and asked why. She proceeds to place a clear tube of ground-up green leaves on the table and said she found it in the back of his fridge. I burst out laughing so hard I'm choking, tears running down my face. I explained to her between gasps of air that it's catnip that came from a toy we bought as kitty. It came with 2 tubes of ground catnip, and the directions said to keep it in the fridge so it would last longer. It was so funny, I pulled my brother-in-law into the room, who was in law enforcement, to verify what it was. Now when the news is on and they mention legalizing weed, we turn to Emile and go, "Look, MA. They are finally gonna legalize catnip." Comment 3. Honestly though, why would it matter if you were using one? Comment 4. Your wife is great to share that experience with you. I would not have been able to hold in the laughter. I might have almost peed myself just reading it. On the other hand, she missed the chance to say, "Do you really want to be touching that?" and freak her mom out. Story 2. Emile said my new home looks awful. My husband and I have just moved into our first house, which was a long time coming and a whole lot of saving up. Everything we have we saved ourselves. I've had Pinterest boards and a whole lot of ideas, and I've worked hard to make my first little house a home with my husband. My Emile's style is different from mine. She has very dark colors and loves anything dark gray or silver. I like beiges and light colors. That's fine. People have different tastes. However, my Emile has a difficult time realizing people can have different opinions from her and has no filter. Tonight, my husband sent her a picture of our finally completed living room into the family group chat, and she replied, "Only looks awful." I'm like, seriously? You can't even suck it up and say, "Looks nice," to a couple who are over the moon with their first home? She's coming this weekend, and I know as soon as she walks in the door it's going to be complaint and criticism, and honestly, I'd rather not be here. My husband tells me to ignore her, but it's so hard. Does anyone have any polite but backhanded comebacks I can say when she starts this weekend? Comment 1. You didn't treat her like a child. She acted like one by not using her 2 brain cells to think to wash her hands when she got there, forcing you to ask her. When I had my baby, most people with any common sense would wash or sanitize their hands as soon as they come over or just before they held the baby. I never had to ask anyone. A handful of people who like your ML don't have common sense. The fact she feels so disrespected that you care about the safety of your baby is wild. Does she think it's impossible for her to have germs on her hands? Is she personally offended that you expect her to be clean before she touches an infant with zero immune system? I'd say let her act like the child. Anyone she moans to whose opinion matters will also see that ML is just being an idiot. She seems like the type of person who thinks her shit doesn't stink male. I hope the H is on your side. Also, congrats on the LO. Cherish every moment and look after yourself, mama. Comment 2. Oh, that's okay. ML, I just thought you wanted to hold the baby. Everyone holding her has to do that before they take her. But since you don't, no need to wash your hands. Comment 3. It doesn't matter if my hands are sterilized. If you ask me to wash my hands before handling your baby, I wash my hands. Comment 4. Son, I felt disrespected and treated like a child by your wife, as I literally tattle like a child. I hope DH replied, Mom, tattling on my wife for making a reasonable, common sense request when handling our infant is acting like a child. Either follow instructions or you can shake child's hand on their graduation day. Choose wisely. Comment 5. Did you mean to say that out loud? Comment 6. Are you being rude intentionally? Or do you think that was some sort of helpful comment where it'll run out and change everything to suit your taste instead of mine? Or are you just totally unable to understand that people have different tastes? Just straight out ask her and let her squirm. If she complains, remind her that this is why we use basic manners in civilized societies. Comment 7. Tell her, well, it's a good thing you don't live here, then. Comment 8. Laugh every time she says something stupid or insulting. Shake your head and laugh like you pity her. Don't say anything. Story 3. Was I being a bridezilla? I recently went wedding dress shopping in NYC, and I was planning to go with my friend and my mom. Honestly, I would have been fine going alone, but I didn't want to hear it from my mom if I didn't invite her. My sister bought her dress solo, and it caused my mom to have a total meltdown. The drive from my house to NYC was about 1.5 hours, and there's a park and ride lot right off the highway. I like to carpool, so I asked my mom to meet me there so I could drive us both in. Her house is about 20 minutes north of the highway, so it would add an extra 40 minutes on back roads. She was really shocked and offended that I suggested this. Was I rude to ask her to meet me there? Speaking of the dress shopping, during my fitting and tailoring appointments, there were two. My mom decided to try on dresses for herself. Is that normal? When I went to my sister's fittings, I was all about taking pictures, hyping her up, and supporting her. My mom even insisted I take lots of pictures for the photo album. But during my fitting, I don't think she took a single picture of me. And there was this moment during my fitting when I showed my mom one of the finished wedding programs I designed. I made them on my Cricut, with gold embossed details, in 2 languages since my husband's family speaks another language, and in our wedding colors. I was really excited about how they turned out, and it was like an envelope with a few papers inside. The dress store owner asked what it was, and my mom jumped in and said, "Oh, it's her wedding program. It's not finished yet, we're going to change, XYZ." But it was the first time she'd ever seen it, so I have no idea who "we" was. I wasn't planning to make any changes, I was just showing her because I was proud of it. Honestly, I felt really deflated in that moment. Comment 1. I have the same sarcastic, dry sense of humor that my parents do. My brother does as well. I went through an emotionally abusive marriage and fortunately got out of it. My dad and brother would sometimes make jokes about my marriage. I don't think they really realized how serious my PTSD was from the whole thing. I finally told them both that it wasn't funny to me and these jokes were triggering to me, and if they didn't stop, they wouldn't see me around. You know what they did? They both stopped making the jokes. My brother didn't really get it, but he still stopped. My dad didn't understand how much the whole thing messed me up until I said something. He said he was sorry and hasn't joked about it since. Jokes are only funny if everyone is laughing. Your son isn't old enough to be part of the joke. I'd also be upset if I told someone why I didn't like the joke, but they kept going, especially my partner. Comment 2. It sounds like your husband isn't used to any form of resistance from you, so he's just trying to double down on his perspective, which until now he assumes you have been 100% on board with. He probably feels this is the first time you have disagreed with that perspective, so it must be a mistake and he just needs to re-educate you because surely it's a misunderstanding. Just my guess. But please be careful. It's awful to hear about people having their boundaries stomped on, and it certainly isn't a funny joke for a kid to hear at any age. You're being perfectly reasonable and doing the right thing. I hope you use your head and keep sticking up for both of you even if it's hard. Comment 3. Young children don't really understand sarcasm, So there will be a period of time when your son hears those words and doesn't understand that they don't actually mean it. Your husband is being a bully to both you and your son. Comment 4. Jokes should bring people along, not alienate them. He is not funny, and I think you are finding this out now. Comment 5. Not overreacting, not being a bridezilla. Don't include mom from now on unless your decision is already made and she's just being informed. Comment 6. Girl from now on, she doesn't get invited to prep and doesn't get any info, or at least info diet and no involvement in planning. Remember to password your vendors. And remember, she had a breakdown when your sister excluded her, but look how she's behaving when you included her. See why? Ick your mom, but it sounds like she might be the type to pull that your sister excluded me, I just want to be involved card. Don't fall for it. This is your and your fiancé's wedding. Nobody else gets a say. Nobody. ID follow on your sister's footsteps TBH. Comment 7. I understand why your sister didn't include your mother. Comment 8. It sounds like your mom is a controlling narcissist. You need to put her in her place. It's your wedding, not hers, and if she doesn't like it, then she shouldn't be invited. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.